Here we are. Good morning. So
Happy Halloween.
happy Halloween indeed. It's weird because I'm like looking at my phone, but I should be looking over there. Anyway, how's everyone? Oh, there we go.
You are live.
Morning, Boo. Hello.
Hey, my bestie.
Hello, hello. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here. Hello, Kat. Hey, Janet. Yeah, it's a wonderful day here in Arizona. Beautiful,
awesome.
beautiful. Yeah, it's a nice crisp fall day. So I did see that Seas Candy released an advent calendar. Good. Yes, I love it.
Free
So
shipping.
and free shipping. Yeah. So good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween. Well, almost Halloween. Halloween Eve, right? Hello to South Africa, UK. Hey, Cindy Chilton. Good morning. Hey, Ellen. How are you? So yeah, we're out here. Mario's over here. I have to keep following him because he likes to be outside of camera.
That's right.
Right. So I just have to just follow him because I can't keep him in. So how's everyone doing? Good.
Very,
Yeah.
very good, thank
It's our
you.
front porch. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful day. It was a little chilly this morning.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
close
but the
tomorrow.
sun came out and it's like a beautiful day. Hey, Julie, how are you? Good morning. Morning from, wow, to New Zealand, to Iowa. Get the party started. I will tell you this morning. So it's true. I tried to get this like gimbal thing to work that I've had for forever.
And it's never worked.
Hey, Stacy, every single time I'll charge it, calibrate it, it's all good. And then it never works. Literally minutes before we go live. So I'm like, okay, now I need to just hold it. So yeah, it might be a little shaky, but that's my hand. And well, it is what it is.
Your smooth is not so smooth.
It's not so smooth.
I think you're smoother than
This
you're
is
smooth.
it. I know. This is just, listen, for a decor tour, that's just what we're going to do. So yes, we are outside right now. There's
My
a
gosh,
sled.
even the yard looks perfect.
The
Look at
sled
leaves everywhere.
stays outside. Oh, let's see. How do I turn this? Oh, okay. I can turn it this way. Good morning, everyone. Morning. Oh, yeah. There we go. It is beautiful. Yeah, a few leaves on the ground. This would be like
a lot over
this
there.
would be like fall in northern Arizona, but it's pretty. It is pretty. Beautiful day. Yeah, love the pines. Hello to Tucson. Yeah, I agree, Tammy B. They never do, right? They're kind of always good initially until you actually go to use it. So that's all right. Yeah. Few leaves on the ground. This is fall for us. We're pretty excited about fall for us just because, we get a few leaves and we're like, woohoo, fall. But I know people, yeah, there's a few sticks, Stacy, just some small ones. But yeah, then we have people that obviously live on the East Coast that just get like amazing fall. So we live vicariously through all of those beautiful, beautiful leaves for sure. So yes, we're outside. I'm going to be posting some photos on the blog too today, just to kind of show how this lights up at night. It's pretty cool. So yes, this is the front porch. Created these kind of cool swags. I'll flip this around so you don't have to see us. But I did want to show. I'm going to flip this around so you could see Mario's awesome shirt. So there we go. He created this morning. This was his attire this morning. Hello to Germany, Massachusetts. I know.
Some distressed
Yes.
ink bottles and spray.
Yeah, he got a little distressed spray stain. He's like, I'm gonna make a Halloween shirt. I'm like, you go for it. That's right. Simon said, oh, Mario the ombre. Yeah, he did good.
That's it.
I gave him some colors. I'm like, you just go for it. So when he says he's not a maker, he can do that. I mean, I do like the bit of tie-dye effect on the seam, and I like the splatter on the back. So yeah, well done, Mario. Well done. So yes, this is the porch. Just pumpkins. We love pumpkins. Just put quite a bit out here. This is the junk that, yes, normally it stays on the porch year round. Just will be decorated. The ladder is new, though. I did get that this year
That was
from a
sweet
store.
find.
Yeah, it was a store that's sadly going out of business downtown, and we were able to pick up that cool ladder. But yeah, propped it up with some pumpkins. Really nice. And then up here, just created these swags. So I like to make stuff. I really, really do. I love to just put stuff together. So these are things that honestly they're all created from a lot of different things. The black pine I got on Amazon. The twigs were cut up from a wreath from Target one year. The spider web is something from Hobby Lobby. The spiders are from the dollar store, where we added the distressed black glitter to them so they sparkle. Those are just plastic. A lot of cool stuff from Hobby Lobby, right? All that stuff. That's all just new this year that you just kind of stick it in, right? And then you get to take it down. They're those cool berries that drip down. Very Haunted Mansion, right? I absolutely love that. I had friends searching everywhere for me. My friend Monica in Texas got me stuff. My friend Joy in California, Paula, and of course, whatever we could find at Hobby Lobby. Then those skulls I picked up, I think I picked those up at Michael's like a couple years ago. They're styrofoam, and we just used a styrofoam cutter, cut the back of it off, and just made 3 swags. I wanted something kind of Haunted Mansion-ish because I love when they decorate for A Nightmare Before Christmas with all the black and orange. And then I really love, yeah, all that kind of cool. I love these big green things. They're plastic. Really, really fun. So yeah, quite a bit of fun. So that's what we did outside just to create over the window. And then at night, there's purple lighting that's kind of along the bottom and it just glows up the wall. So yeah, I'll show a photo. It's really cool how these light up. They're really eerie at night, right?
They are very cool at night.
Very cool. And then, ooh, sun is shining. But yeah, I kind of created the same thing just around the door. Again, that's just a garland I picked up at Amazon this year. And then just added stuff to it, right? Added, again, the skull and just the same stuff. And I just stick it in. It's way easier if you just kind of stick that stuff in and pull those things out when you pack it up. But to me, that's just the easiest thing to create. So absolutely love it. And then, yeah, little stove. And then we've got this little pumpkin, although it's an electric pumpkin. Our friend Kim got us that. It's really cool. It talks and lights up, but you can only really see it at night. Yeah. And then
pictures.
Yeah, and then of course, yeah, that's not real grass, but that's a perfect fall shot there. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, still have a little mint left for mojito season. I'll still be able to have some mojitos in the fall. Check that out. Yeah, not much basil left. A little bit of rosemary, and then check out those cool toadstools. Shout out Zoe Hillman, getting me those from Tivoli. I love them. Yeah, and then that's a fake pumpkin. Because if we had real pumpkins, we tried that already. Real pumpkins this low, yeah, we have animals that eat them. So, all right, ready to head inside, guys? All right, let's head inside. All right,
Ready?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, you guys. Absolutely love it. So, the house is filled with, well, it's filled with vintage junk because I love junk. Never tire of it. So, wow, what's going on? All right, there we go. I was like, what is that? Whoo, Mario's got some smoke effect going on already. Awesome. So when you come in, there's all sorts of stuff. I love that. This is something, cool smoky effect, Mario. This was actually a show prop that my friend Debbie Adams and Marty at Sizzix created for a booth. Check that out. Like repurposed an umbrella and put a chandelier in there. Yeah, this was a booth prop from Creativation, and yeah, they actually decided to put it into an umbrella, which I love. And then when it was done, I'm like, anyone gonna take that? Because I'll take that home and hang it in my house. And yeah, that's what I did here. So, all right. Yeah, Mario's got the smoke machine in play, which is good. Okay, so when you walk in, here's just some vintage Halloween stuff. I love all the cool kind of kitschy stuff, right? Like old makeup and fake mustache and teeth. So this is where I just kind of find stuff. Most of the stuff really I find at either junk shops or eBay or Etsy. And I just like to create with things. This is an old sign that I got on Etsy. Actually this year, just a vintage sign that I put into an old frame. Very kitschy. Agree, very kitschy. And I like to display with a lot of different things. I love vintage candy holders. Any of you guys remember those? Did it for Halloween and Christmas. I know, isn't that stuff great? The graphics are just, they're so good. They're so good on all of this stuff. Look at that spider ring. It's like huge. Like the spider rings you see today, like tiny little plastic thing. I mean, that thing is massive. Just like that fake mustache, just absolutely huge. Yeah. And then the makeup kit, it's really cool. So yeah, that's what's kind of just right when you walk in, just kind of an entryway. And you'll see the garlands that we've done, they're kind of all over the house. I just like to do this everywhere. And again, it's the same thing. These come apart. I know some people go, oh, it just takes forever. These come apart pretty easy. You just kind of stick stuff in and pull stuff out. It's really quite easy. You can cut apart things that you find at different stores and repurpose it. That's absolutely what I love. So here's just a cabinet. I'll kind of step back just so you can see the entire cabinet. And this is where I put a lot of kind of the small, say, kitschy things. I know, look at that paint. That's like legit old Crackle. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. So in here, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of vintage stuff. Now, some people are creeped out by this. I absolutely love it. But this is, yeah, that's a vintage Ouija board, some vintage palmistry stuff, some old cards. I don't use it. I don't practice it, but I just think that the graphics and everything are very cool. That is an old Randotti skull from Disneyland way back in the day. They actually used to sell those at Adventureland in Disney. And I love that skull. So I got that. I think I actually got it from somebody in Italy, which was really cool. So thanks you guys. You guys are awesome. Then I love noisemakers, love all the vintage graphics of noisemakers. I collect them a lot. I found this really cool licorice crate this year, and then just thought this was a great place to put all these noisemakers, and this way they can sit into a little cabinet. I love really all the graphics in there. And then just some other cool vintage stuff, some vintage paper party horns. Those are paper. The other noisemakers, there's some tin. And look at that vintage. I love all that vintage crepe paper. Isn't that cool? Crepe paper garland, so good. I love licorice pipes too, you guys. I loved them. Honestly, I liked those as a kid. So crazy that I used to go in and, yeah, we could actually buy those for a nickel. And I love that. I love black licorice. I still do. But yeah, look at how cool. Could you imagine being able to get that kind of crepe paper that's all stitched? Those vintage rolls. Oh, so good. Yeah, so those little resin pieces, that's just, yeah, those are from World Market, I think, one year that we got. And then vintage book, little games for Halloween. Mario's saying, where do you put all that stuff, right? Yeah, we do. We put it in a shed outside. Then these are vintage paper pulp jack-o'-lanterns. I love these a lot. They're really, really cool just because, well, they're cute. Yeah. Hard to find. They get more and more expensive every single year. The candy corn, I just use that for display. Yeah, you can find good candy corn. If you have, we got this at Sprouts a couple years ago. So, and it's really nice because, I don't know, it's just big candy corn. And we use it every year. I just put it back into a bag. It's different kind of candy corn than the stuff I eat, the Automix. This one's definitely like crunchier. So it made for great display. And then as a kid, these were my favorite candies. Those peanut butter kisses that are wrapped in wax paper. Just think they're great. And I love them. So they're just a fun thing to decorate. You'll see they're kind of, I just use it as filler. It's a great thing to do if you have regular candy corn. So this is real. I mean, it was real when I bought it. But we found it, yeah, Sprouts, right? Like in the bulk candy. But if you just leave it out year after year, you just put it back in a Ziploc bag and it's great. I found those peanut butter kisses on eBay, actually. Somebody was selling them on eBay. A company still makes them, but they're hard to find. We didn't find them at any stores for sure. So yeah, found them on eBay. You can search. Then I have like an old costume box. This was not my costume, but it's a very cool old costume box. A little pirate costume in there, a masquerade. And then just some little vintage stuff. This is just a little school display. I love that chalkboard. And then remember these from school? Yeah, they would hang in the classroom. Those little cutouts. I love that. It's just fun. Lot of fun. So yeah, that's just when you walk in. It's pretty crazy. Pretty cool just to see all this stuff that's in here. So yes, here we go. There's Mario.
I'm out.
He doesn't want to be in there. So yes, this is the living room. You can see that there's kind of junk everywhere, but I love it. So kind of all the way around, there's just stuff that I absolutely love. And the whole thing about really this tour is just to remind you that if there's anything that you like, that makes you happy, you should put it up in your house. You should surround yourself with the things that make you happy. That's what it's all about. And I'll take you through and show you that. So first, this kind of garland. This, of course, was inspired by Heidi Swapp and all of her marquee. And I actually did the mini marquee letters in Ideology. So they were really inspired by these as well. These are kind of the old marquee signs like from a drive-in. just picked up a piece of framing wire. There you go up there, little framing wire that we found we just picked it up at Home Depot. Use the Ideology hinge clips. You can find these letters on Etsy. You can find them on eBay. You can buy them by the letter. You can sometimes find sets. And yeah, we just changed that out. So that just stays up and I kind of clip it up, and then just some vintage. This is vintage, just cool garland that goes all the way across. Yep, there's Winston over there. We'll take you through and show you kind of close-ups of all of that. But see, like, just when you look around, you just get to be happy stuff. Another thing, if you have a television in your living room that is a big television, which a lot of us have just big flat screens, remember, if you have an iPhone, an iPad, a laptop, whatever, you can just screen share an image up there and it just becomes a piece of art for your room. So those are kind of the all the fun things. So yeah, I'll just take you around. We'll give you a close-up look at everything and just talk about kind of how it's collected. All right. So up here, just a cabinet. Diane bought me that. Diane Reevely, the lovely Di. I love that buzzard skeleton. He's up there with some vintage soda bottles. And then I just bought this plastic skeleton. Was a booth prop that Paula and I used for Ideology when we would do the seasonal releases at Creativation. So he was cool. He's just a plastic. They just use them in classrooms. So it was for a science class, but I thought it was really cool. I love those giant honeycomb balls. You can, again, find those on eBay or Etsy. That one is just giant, like an 18-inch honeycomb ball. Really fun. So he's just hanging there. That big chain, that's just like foam. It's just foam chain. That looks legit, but it's just foam that I picked up from Target many, many years ago. And yes, there's a bird cage. Cool little mouse up there. Yeah, just fun. Again, just stuff. And then, yeah, you'll see same kind of swags. I just have tiny little lights. Those are, I think, little rice lights that I picked up from maybe Walmart a couple of years ago. Just, you find stuff. I think that's the thing that just you have to remember, is sometimes if you just think, oh, I'm going to find everything at one time, it's okay to find stuff. It's okay to change your mind, trade things out, cut things up, right? So a lot of like the leaves and all the twigs and branches, those were just big things that you just chop it up. And this is the inspiration also behind, you know, Ideology, all that vintage stuff. I think that's really, really good. There's our little pumpkins. Got those last night at, was it last night? The night before? No, Trader Joe's. I wanted like little pumpkins. Oh, this is cool. So this table's new. This might freak out people, but listen, don't freak your freak. But you have to be inspired by things. So I saw this on Pinterest, I think. This, and to me, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Look at that like industrial coffee table. I really didn't know what it was. So I'm like, oh, I need to start looking for this. Okay, so what this is actually, and this is not just for Halloween. We leave this out year round because I just got it this year. But it's a casket. That's it. It's to roll caskets. So, and it's from a company. I don't know if you can see it down there, but the company name, I think what's it called? Frigid, I think. Yeah, it's so cool. It's from Frigid, but it's a collapsible vintage coffin cart. And I know that probably creeps people out, but I think it's so cool as an industrial coffee table because I love the wheels. I love the metal. We just had a piece of glass cut for it. Really just different. So yeah, some people would be like, yeah, not so cool. But to me, yeah, absolutely love it. All right. So I'm going to, Mario, would you mind just holding this for a second? Sure. I'll have Mario just kind of take this and yeah, I don't know what he'll do with it, but yeah, he can just hold on to that. I just need to give my fingers just a rest here real quick.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Mario's not going to say anything? No?
Oh, I can say anything, sure. Oh, yeah, so what?
Yeah. Uh-oh. That's a good sound. Yeah, that's a really good sound. I think that's the best sound, actually. That's what I needed to get turned on, right?
You did.
There you go. All right, so that is... There he is. You got it? You're doing good. You are doing really good. Check that out. All right, so this, I just needed to I wanted to turn that on just so you guys could see it. It's pretty cool. So this is kind of a new That's new this year. Hilarious. Check that out. Not hooked up to. It is a creepy skeleton hotel bell. It's hilarious. Yeah, and it's motion sensor, so now every time I walk by, it's going to ring off. But this is kind of a cool little science corner, right? Inspired by a lot of different elements. We have this chimney cupboard. On the side, there's all these cages from vintage fans. I love that. And this is just stuff that I picked up. And that's another thing. You can take things that you have in your house and still make them kind of creepy. There we go. That's probably going to go off a little too much. I told you, Mario, once we turn it on, we'll probably end up turning it off because it's so crazy. But the cool thing about this, all laboratory stuff, laboratory glass. That's a cool little light that Paula got me, made out of a vintage camera. I love just different boxes. Again, you're going to see just candy corn, lights. This is all stuff. I got this stuff from my friend Jenny Bolin. She sells a lot of cool vintage stuff. I just love it. It's really, really cool. That's a sign that Paula got me. Cool doctor sign. Excellent. So we'll just move over. I think if we're just not in front of it, it probably won't go off. So here you can see another little table. These are things that there's a lot of different artists that I love to shop at. You can find so many cool things on Etsy and eBay. So where did I get the bell in the hand? That came from Grandin Road. If you're familiar with them, they sell online. They sell a lot of cool Halloween stuff. It's a little pricey, but I mean, I think for what it is, it's really cool. But so these guys buy a lot of different things from artists on Etsy. And this is one of my favorite artists. This is David. He's known as Chicken Lips. You can shut it off if you want. Just pick it up and flip that. So Chicken Lips, he does, he sells on Etsy. He does all these really cool characters. And these great characters, they are all handmade. He does so many different ones every year. They're very hard to get. He'll list them in his site, and then that's it. Like, they sell really quick. He also does some different shows. You can find them on Etsy. I'm going to link all of these great artists that I talk about on the blog post as well. But the cool thing, look at that witch. Isn't she amazing? Yeah, I agree, Teresa. Chicken Lips is amazing. He does all of these hand sculpts, hand paints, and this is years of collecting. I did not get all of these the same year. This was like year after year. I love this witch. Look at her. Oh my gosh. Just the detail of these little sculptures. The first piece I got was this guy, this trick-or-treater with the candy corn, the cool Converse shoes. He was the first piece I got with this party hat. I loved him, the little masquerade. And then I got the witch, and then I got this guy too. That cool kind of hat box. Really, really cool. I love with the top hat. Really cool. And again, just displayed on a table. That's normally in the living room. Got a bunch of lights, candy corn. So see, you can just take stuff and just use it as filler all over. So where's your little fog effect, Mario?
Finish.
You put it away? Doesn't work?
No, it's
Taking a break?
not good.
And then like these things, again, that's just something, pick those up on Amazon. These are just battery operated candles. This is just to show you guys that you can take these were cheap, super cheap. And all I did was took the heat tool to them, take an embossing gun. As long as you're buying wax candles. So these are battery operated. They're like remote control, really inexpensive, nothing special about them. You can see the color that they started out to be. So all I did with these, because I love the ones that have that little bouncing flame, right? So remote control set, I don't know, maybe they were 25, 30 bucks for, I think, a set of maybe 3 or 4 candles. But then I just went in with my heat tool, started melting the wax around it, right? Ranger heat tool for the win. Got that stuff just to melt the wax. And then I took some distressed crayon, rubbed that over there, spritzed it with water, and now you've got cool, drippy candles, right? Cool, drippy candles, but as you can see, they were perfectly white candles when you first get them. So as long as you just read the description and they say that they're wax, perfect. So a great way that you can use these. And we put these up year round. So they sit in there, and because they're remote control, you can turn them on and off. You don't have to go in and take everything down. It's pretty cool, right? And I just tuck those in with junk, right? Junk that I have. right? Old horn. I love all sorts of different elements. I love my bow ties, right? That's from my friend Littlewood Vintage. She also, she sells at different flea markets in California. She's got a great site on Instagram. She's got just a great feed. She just shows so much cool junk. And she had these bow ties. She was selling these bow ties, and I'm like, I want them all. I'm going to put them in a frame. So, yeah, Mario and I found an old frame. We put a bunch of different cigar boxes in the back. You can see just those are all planks of different cigar boxes, and then just hot glued those bow ties to them, made a piece of art. Right? That's it. So there's inspiration everywhere. Really, it's just a matter of just taking what you have and making what you want with it. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate this. It's fun. It's fun just to kind of, yeah, show you. Some people just kind of freak out. They look at this, and instead of enjoying the inspiration, all they can think of is who cleans it, who dusts it. The same people that would dust your house. Well, probably not the same people, but you dust your house, we dust our house. So, yeah, you just dust when you need to dust. But, yeah.
Honestly, but is there a dusting company?
No.
Really? So?
No. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yes, Vintage Mickey for the win. You're right, Tammy B. You saw him. He's really cool. He stays out year round. Tammy B, you'll appreciate this next thing that's down here. So, as a lover of Disneyland, every single time I've gone to Disneyland and I've walked by the magic shop, I have seen this cutter in the window. And at first I thought that it was made by one of the Imagineers because it's a giant pair of scissors. And I thought, well, this is really cool. And I would probably say a minimum of 10 years I've looked for one. It is actually a vintage magic card cutter. So magicians would take a deck of cards, and there's this special, it looks like a paper trimmer for crafters, right? But it's made out of metal. And that is how they would, I guess, cut their cards for their magic tricks. But yeah, I finally found one, and I absolutely love it. Super heavy. It's really cool. I've got some old cards there. But again, just made a little vignette. Look at that little skull. My friend Zoe Hillman got me that. She sent that to me this year. I love it. Put a little battery-operated candle in there as well. There's a lot of things that you can change out too, right? So if you get stuff that you want to light up, drill a hole in the bottom, right? If there's stuff that you want a different color, you have the technology. Use your alcohol inks, use your crayons, use your inks, use any of that. So that's just a little vignette because it just reminds me of Disney. So I love it very, very much. Yeah, and then that's, some people have entertainment centers.
You are an enabler. I bought the hotel bell.
It's very cool.
From, I don't know.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's the coolest. Now, let me tell you this, and not to diss anything, but don't be fooled by all the other stuff, because we've had a few other things from there that didn't pan out too well, but that hotel bell is incredibly, incredibly cool. We might go back to that at the end.
Oh, someone asked how old is, Beth asked, how old is that Mickey?
I'm going to say, gosh, I really don't know. I would probably say, I don't know, 30s maybe, 40s? It's pretty old. It's really, really old. I think I don't really know, to be honest. But it's old. I mean, because he's actually filled with, I don't even know. He's not filled with polyfill. He's filled with almost like a straw-like material, a little bit of stuffing in his hands. But he's very, very cool. All right, is Halloween my favorite holiday? Every day is my favorite holiday, to be honest. I love to decorate for Halloween. Christmas, this becomes a complete winter wonderland. So yeah, I just like to change things out all the time. All right, so going down here, little vignettes, because there's little things everywhere, right? So here, just a little children's piano. It's tiny, right? I loved it because it had all these like busted keys that made it like my favorite. I love that. So here, just displayed stuff. There's the manner I did, right? The old book. So you can see how putting it on an old book really tied into that stack of books. So kind of think about that if you're displaying. And yeah, maybe you don't have a lot of junk, but you can certainly make a little happy nook or vignette in your space, right? So yeah, that's my little manner. Put it on a stack of books. This little cabinet, this is actually an upside down cash register drawer, right? If you look at it, it's got all the little coin slots, right? So that came out of an old cash register. We just stood it up. This came from my friend Littlewood Vintage. Check out these little candy corn zombies. I got these this year from a guy on Etsy. His name is Ed. Look how cool. I loved them. You know me, I love candy corn. They're hilarious. They're made out of clay. Absolutely fantastic. I love just I love all the expressions. See, it's just about little things, right? There's a little truck, those little pumpkins, you can fill with that, right? This is my friend Carrie. She's also on Instagram. She sells stuff all the time. She does these beautiful pumpkins, and those are just displayed with some apothecary bottles. That's made out of clay, so there's a little tea light in there that can light up. So yeah, it's just kind of fun to take, I don't know, take little things, take little elements and create little vignettes. So whether that's your whole little space, you can see that just in a small amount of space, you can put some really cool things, right? That to me that's the best, right? Little elements all around. We're gonna get to my favorite. Oh, this is another one. Let's go over here. See, anyone that loves Disney will appreciate this. Again, my friend Zoe Hillman sent it to me this year. She found this. She's like, I found this pumpkin. I bought myself one. I got one for you. So absolutely love it. It's just a resin pumpkin, but it just reminds me of the ones on Main Street, Disneyland. I love that face. She sent me that candle, I think last year, the year before. Yeah, that also came from Tivoli. I just like that. So you can just tuck things in wherever you want. I would say decorating time, it takes a few days, but I don't get weirded out about it. No. Like, I'll put up the garlands, I'll add stuff, but I do add stuff to it every year. Mm-hmm. Every year I go in and add stuff. So
we just do it casual. Like we don't have a
yeah, I mean, I would probably say
part done and that part done.
Yeah, and I also like the idea of not being so, I don't know, so systematic about decorating. I think some people, they have their way and they do it the same every single time, and that's okay. But it's also fun just to change it up. And when you see stuff, take stuff in, take stuff down, all of that. So let's talk about this. I do have an addiction of pumpkins. I don't know. And I don't think I'm alone. I think there's probably a lot of people out there that have an addiction for pumpkins. Beth just said, do you put everything you own out or do you switch it out? So here's my thing. If I'm going to have it, I'm going to use it. And if I don't have space for it and I switch it out, then I get rid of it, right? We donate it, give it away, just because I think that otherwise you could just get a little bit out of control. But that's just me. You do you. But I kind of feel like if I have it and I'm going to use it, because we all outgrow things, we have different tastes, different styles. And if I'm not going to want to use something, then I have no problem just saying, okay, I've traded this for this and moving on. But of course, sometimes, you'll end up wanting it again, but that's okay. It just is. So let's talk pumpkins. So first, again, boy, I keep talking about Zoe because, Zoe also shares my pumpkin addiction. So this was actually a couple of years ago. She found this pumpkin in the UK because in the UK they have TK Maxx, which is kind of like our TJ Maxx, but our TJ Maxx did not have this, and I wanted it so bad. It's the coolest stacked resin. I kind of retrofitted it with one of those giant flame lights you can find on Amazon. But I love that because you can make anything into what you want. We're makers after all. So these pumpkins, these are all fake. These are all foam. They're styrofoam. I've collected these over the years as well. This is a cool shopping cart I bought from someone on Instagram. Probably since the pandemic, I've done most of my vintage shopping on Instagram, eBay, and Etsy, right? So I found that shopping cart and I use it all year. I mean, I just got it this year, but I put stuff in for Valentine's Day. I added Easter eggs. So yeah, these guys are all styrofoam. They're very cool, really realistic, but that's what gives me the ability to kind of stack them up and create all sorts of, I've accumulated these for years. So this was not just like a one-time buy, right? This was just, you find them, maybe you find them at a boutique, maybe you find them online, and you just get them and you kind of see what works. If something is a little too bright or a little too whatever, we have the technology, distress paint, distress crayon. You can wash things out just to create more of that realistic grunge. Hey, Zoe, someone did say there pumpkins. You know it.
Welcome.
Love it.
Or someone asked about the beads. Are they beads?
Yeah. I'll show you those too. So here's the wreath. For those that saw the Instagram live that we did. This was the infamous wreath that my friend Joy got for me this year. I've wanted this wreath forever. This came from Crate and Barrel. They actually released it last year. I got a centerpiece, and I didn't buy the wreath because I didn't want to spend the money. And I kicked myself for not getting that wreath. It just like became my nemesis. Anyway, this year they had the wreath, but they didn't have the table centerpiece, and I couldn't find it anywhere. They wouldn't ship. They would do nothing. So I searched, and there was a store in California where my friend Joy lives, and I'm like, Joy, please, can I buy it? You go pick it up. I mean, it's a lot to ask someone now to, you know, go shop for you. So thanks, Boo. I love it. It's so good. It's just a big, I don't know. It's very Maleficent, right? Take a look at that. It's made out of this cool foam. And then that is just a black light strip that I bought on Amazon, right? Just plugs in, but it's a great way to add accent light. So that's another thing to remember is like, yeah, if you guys see stuff, you have friends around. I know that, you know, people live all over the world, but if we have friends and friends ship, you know, they can certainly help you get the stuff that you want and need. So there you go. So these beads are just wooden beads. It's just a wooden bead garland. I just Googled one time like Halloween garland, and I saw these wooden beads. You could probably get glass ones, but I like the fact that they're very vintage looking, and they just hang there. I like that for Halloween, for Christmas, the same thing. I just think it's just a great way to add a little, I don't know, a little drapey-do, you know? Just kind of neat, just to add that. So there, again, there's a little swag, and then there's the neck of Winston. So Winston, of course, was inspired by my friend Vicky Booten. She got one of these guys, and I think it was last year, right, Mario? It was last Christmas.
Yes.
She got one of these. He is heavy as heck. I mean, this dude he's made out of brass.
Super heavy.
But I loved his glasses. I loved the pipe. He's made out of metal, so our neighbor had to actually install it on a wooden crate because we didn't have a wall, right? Vicky hung hers on a wall. You could see I didn't have one. So we actually just took an old crate and mounted that to the top of the fireplace, and he is hanging off of, so he stays up year round. I love Winston. I just think I don't know what Vicky named his, but that's what I named this guy. He's just awesome. He's really good. He's, yeah, made out of brass. He's epic. So just display around him. So there's a lot of things that I love for Halloween. I love noisemakers, all sorts of different party horns and streamers. Remember those candy sticks as a kid? I love those. Still the same vintage candy and the straws. I like to retrofit old lanterns, right? You can just buy those lights that you can get, especially at Christmas time for the Christmas village. You can take that. And so I just open the lantern and put one of those light cords in, buy a little flickering bulb, and off you go. And then you can see more vintage mache. So I have a couple of cats. That one right there with the orange stripes. That's new this year. That actually came, I think, yesterday. I love that old fortune telling game. All this stuff is real vintage. I love the idea of collecting. You can also find different things like that home wax can, find things in different colors. And that could also just like old ticket rolls. If you search throughout the year, guys, for stuff, you won't pay as much. That's what I want to tell you. That is a tip that I learned from Mario. He just said, you know, if you just remember what you like from the previous year and you just put in a search, because you can put in a saved search on eBay or Etsy, and you look all year, then you don't have to pay as much. You still probably will pay for stuff, especially Halloween. It's like the most collectible thing out there. But it's just not as crazy as it is during Halloween. So again, these are all vintage mache. They have battery operated tea lights that are on remote control, so it's easy to turn them on and off. That's what they look like in there, just little candles. But I love all their expressions. I like these little party hats I put on there. So it's really cool. Someone said, how do you secure the objects? Maybe that just means purchase, maybe? Yeah, eBay, Etsy. I love that little fortune. This is a funny thing. So this fortune telling favor set, let me just grab it. It actually has like all these weird little metal things. Like think of it like Monopoly game pieces, right? So it's all these little metal things, little metal dolls, whatever, okay? And I didn't know what it was, right? I thought, oh, this is kind of strange. This is going to be interesting, some sort of weird little trick. And then I read the back. Yep, you got that right. You put them on cake. Not really. I don't know why you would put metal objects in cake, but you know what? That's it. Oh, so they don't fall over? I use putty. Like you can do putty if you need from like poster putty that you can get if you feel. But most of the stuff just kind of leans up against each other, right? It's just all about balance. You can use little flower frogs for display.
There's a good question
There's
for
some
you.
candles, yes.
Kate wants to know, how long does it take you to turn on all the battery tea lights on and off?
Oh, zippity doo. Here we go. You're speaking my language here. If you see my drawers there, and I don't mean drawers, but you know, drawers, I am a fan of the almighty remote. Okay, now these remotes right here are simply for lights. This one is for the neon. It is a neon sign that I picked up at Junk in the Trunk a couple years ago, and I do love flashlights. You can see all my vintage flashlights up there.
Oh,
So
this is his favorite part.
it is. That is remote control. So that can turn right on and off, right? These are just things that you can, this one you can just buy at like a Home Depot or whatever, and you can just put any plug to it. Then depending on where you like to shop, okay, what you want to do. So this remote, right, that says, has had that little candle. I know that's for my candles. So these are for the wax candles. So you can either turn them on for a certain amount of time, like hit 8 hours and they'll turn on and off, right? Or you can just turn them off, right? Love that. Or turn them on, easy. You can also dim them. So if you don't like how bright they are, you can dim them. You can have them go from flickering candle mode to just regular light. That's all just from the candle. It comes with the candles. It's not a separate accessory. Right? Then I have this remote. This remote actually goes to that case. So if you want to change, like you can have it light up. You can also change it, you know, to where it looks splashy. If you're allergic to strobe, or if you not allergic, if you have a reaction to strobe, look away for just a second. Because yeah, so you can change it. This is just an LED strip, again, from Amazon that you plug in and you can do that. But I like the fact that you can also just control like the brightness of it. So if stuff is too bright, you can actually just dim this down. So if you want this to be like really low at night, I just like that to have kind of a low light. So again, very inexpensive because you can connect those. And that LED is literally running up the door. So often when you want to put lights in a cabinet, if you try to put under cabinet lights, it sucks in a shelf like this because you always see the one above it, right? So if I installed lights underneath, which is usually what you do about cabinets, but it's not good, you see them. So one of the things is just install them on the inside of a door panel, then it's going to light everything up and then you never see it. So that's just a little tip there for lighting. And then the jack-o'-lantern ones, yeah, everyone keeps talking about dusting. You guys,
No one.
you really need to like
enjoy
enjoy life a little bit more because yeah, there you go. There's the other one. So you can see I have drawers of just candles, battery lights. Again, you can pick this up on Amazon. It's really inexpensive. So this one on and off. So if I want to just turn those off, it's very simple. There you go. They're all off. They're on. That's it. Touch of a button. Instant. So good. All right. Okay. So those are the mache kind of vintage stuff. I mean, I love just stacking it up. Another tip is when you're putting stuff down, think of height. This is something that when we do ideology, when we used to do the ideology booth, sadly, but height is really important, right? So you can use all sorts of different things. You can use boxes, ticket rolls, cans, whatever you have. But whenever you're displaying, even if it's just a few things, try to put things at different levels, different heights. This way things can like appear behind other things. This will allow you to really maximize your display space because instead of putting everything in one line, you can have things just kind of appear. And don't get so caught up on hiding things, right? Some people just freak their freak where they're like, oh, I've got a can, I don't want to hide it. Come on, there's just something cool about the graphics. And the beautiful thing about it is that every little part of the room when you walk, you're going to notice something different. You're going to get just like a different reveal, right? It's like you can see that book over there in the back about Halloween tales. It's tucked back there. But when you're over here, you don't notice it. And that's okay. That's the beauty of display. So it is important to remember that when you're kind of layering things around, that if you create different height and use different things, you know, to prop your elements, it does allow you to go in and just get a lot more stuff, maximize your space. This is just some little suitcases. That's a little broom. So I bought that at Target in the dollar spot just to get but I didn't like the plastic handle. So Mario to the rescue. Look at that stick, Stacy. Yeah, he went and got a big stick, and we just took apart the plastic broom from Target, probably 3 of them because they're small. Use some jute and just made your own. It's very simple to just kind of really repurpose. That's the best part. All right, so that's the living room space, and yeah, this just kind of goes all the way around. There's honestly, there's stuff everywhere, and then like a giant windmill blade fan. All right, then we go into the dining area. Again, repurpose stuff. So this is the table piece that I was talking about that I got at Crate and Barrel maybe last year, I guess. Last year, year before. Yeah, it's like a rubbery thing. So this just stores in a box. I just like that. Again, same battery operated candles, right? So another little tip, if you're gonna put candles on your table, your wood table, probably not a good idea unless you like to have wax on your table. So get some coasters, right? That's all these are, just coasters. And then I use the same poster putty. Poster putty is your friend, you guys. I talk about that all the time. Poster putty your candles to that. This way you can still get to them and change the batteries if you need. I only change the batteries once a year. And I have these candles on for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So they stay on usually for about 3 months. You know, not 24/7, but then you only have to replace them, and the batteries are super inexpensive, again, from Amazon. But that's just a tip. If you want to quickly move candles around, put them on coasters. This way it doesn't leave any wax on your table. Yeah, this was actually an office table that I was not in the market for a table, but it's made out of old telephone poles, and I freaking loved it because who doesn't want a table with a bazillion holes in it? I do. I love it. And since it's just, yeah, it's a cool table. It's a skinny table. It's cool. All right. So, yeah, looking around here, just like all sorts of things. I love candy boxes. Love vintage candy boxes. So much. Yeah, Joy said, not when you're kidding. You're right. Yeah, we actually had to put a little tablecloth. What is poster putty? Poster putty, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to call it.
It's at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, but they're in the UK. I'm not sure. Like, honestly, I don't know what else to call it. It's just a putty stuff that you can. I could get one out of the closet, but you just kind of work it, and it gets soft and pliable, but it's reusable. So you can stick things up. Yeah, kind of. It's like blue tack. There you go.
Blue tack in the UK.
Okay, so I don't really like the blue stuff. There you go. Paula called it museum putty. Yeah, I don't like the blue stuff because the blue stuff leaves some of the blue behind. Maybe you guys have better blue stuff in the UK, but I don't like the blue stuff here in the US. So I like the stuff from Hobby Lobby because it's not as sticky. But yeah, whatever works. There you go. I like the museum putty. All right. So candy boxes, all vintage, old, collected again for years, because around this time of year, if you try to buy candy boxes, they're stupid money. But if you like the idea and you look all year, you can find these really for cheap, honestly. And I say for cheap because, well, you can find them for anywhere from $10, but you can also pay as high as $50 or $100, depending on when you're buying them and what the graphics are and how rare. But I like the tattered ones, as you can tell, and they don't hold a lot of value to most collectors. So that's right up my alley, right? Because they're like, ooh, that box is faded, not good. That has a torn corner. I'm like, bring it on. So what I did here is just stack them up, again, built around things that I already had. So that's just stacked up on a chair, right? That's stacked up on a box. And just using the graphics, these are vintage blow mold candy pumpkins. Look at those. Remember those little boxes? I loved those as a kid too. And the little black crows, the black licorice. Yeah, your teeth are never the same after that. All right, that's just like a retrofitted toaster we found at an antique shop with the neon piece of toast. It's really cool. Yeah, I love that. Never had a frozen Reese's, but it kind of makes me want one now just because of that. So even back then, they were freezing it where someone's like, oh, here's a new idea. Or not, but that's cool. right? Milk Duds, Snickers, some of the candy. Yeah, I love that. There's payday. So again, you'll see the garland and the repeat. So this is the same kind of styrofoam skull that I got. Those are just styrofoam bones, and I just made it. I mean, I'll take this down, which it kind of freaks me out, just so you can see the, like, really, there you go. Look how beautiful that is. See? Nope. All you got to do is a styrofoam cutter, some hot glue. See there, now you can see the mechanics. I just made that. So you can find stuff that you like and make what you want, right? So if you like the look of something, super, super simple. Uh-oh, I don't think I'm gonna hang this up one-handed. Ooh, there we go, look at that. There is the Cracker Jack sign. So somebody said Cracker Jack. We love Cracker Jack.
Oh my gosh, do we ever?
They're on Instagram, guys. They hand paint these signs year round. So they do a release for Valentine's Day. They do summer ones for 4th of July. They do Halloween. They do Christmas. I scored a Christmas sign last year. Same thing. It's a husband and wife, and they do the most amazing hand painted signs. Some are big, some are small, and they will always announce when they have a sale, and you have to just watch it, and you have to be ready to shop. That's
Quick.
it.
You have
And
to
like,
be quick.
it's literally under a minute and a half before it's gone, and they just kind of do one of each. So
They are all beautiful.
I saw this. I wanted it so bad because I just love it. It's all like an old masonite. Like, this is how it comes, but that's a new painted sign that looks so old. But it was a perfect spot. And then I didn't know what to do with it, honestly. I got the sign first, and then I said to Mari, I'm like, I don't know where I want to put it. I want to put it in the house. I knew I wanted to put it with the candy boxes, but up until a month ago, I didn't own any blow molds, but I do now. So all of these jack-o'-lantern blow molds, yeah, this would be the past month
Yes.
that I did.
They come every day.
So, but again, I'm kind of cheap when it comes to vintage stuff. So I just shop around and shop around and shop around and collected them, and then needed different measurements. And then it was Mario's idea about lighting them up. So I love how they glow. So what we did, and I know that probably true vintage people will cringe, but I just kind of feel if you're buying it, it's yours. Do what you want to do with it. So what we did is just went in and drilled holes through the bottoms of all of them, right? It's like a little 3/4 inch hole. There you go. You can see that. And then by stacking them, the lights could come in, and you could just take a strand of Christmas lights. Those just happen to be those orange, like those little orange rice lights, and just taking one strand of lights and just stranding them all through there. And this way they kind of all light up and glow. I suppose you could still do the tea lights. You could do the battery operated tea lights. You could do all of that. And you could do any element. I mean, I like to just pack in junk. You don't have space for junk. That's okay. No one's saying to do it. But this is something that if you like that one look and you found 2 little blow molds that you like, you can remember that idea of saying, oh, hey, I'm going to stack those. And, oh, I'll put a little tea light in there. Or maybe you're going to have several. And I have an idea. I bought something yesterday, so I have an idea of what they're going to. I think on Instagram they're called Cracker Jack Junk Company or Junk Co., I think. Again, I'll be linking all of these guys because they're just amazing. And they're working on Christmas signs now. I think their Christmas signs drop maybe in November. So again, just sprinkling the candy around just for filler. I always think that if you have some type of fill in the blank, it really helps with display, because sometimes when you go to display a space, maybe it's a table or a mantle or something, and you have that empty space, it's a bit annoying. And so having, like at Christmas, I'll just do like vintage glass ornaments. For Halloween, I just do candy. So yeah, there's that little vignette. I love that with the sign. So good to light that up. Ooh, really, really good. So much fun. And then over here, this is a cool cart that I got from Paula. This was in Paula's house. We did, I think, a little junk swap.
You did.
Because she had it. I'm like, I love that bench. She's like, I want to get rid of that bench. I'm like, bring it. And we were, I think, in her living room when Mario was boxing it up. And that's when, isn't that when Tyler said, oh, look, he has a butler. Remember that, Pete?
That was one of the
It was
girls.
hilarious.
Oh, is he the butler?
No, he's the butler. Yeah, I don't remember who said it, but yeah, it was so good. So I just use that as a great display. Again, see, I found that on Instagram. I did. There's so many sellers on Instagram. It was Skylar, see?
Skylar,
It was,
sorry,
yeah. It was so, so funny. So there we've got just do a little stacked drawers, little retrofitted lamp, just made out of an old book, some stuff you get at Home Depot. Again, just kind of take that greenery. I do love that vintage Santos doll. He's so cool. He is just, oh, I love him. An old trophy cup filled with some paintbrushes. There's a map that we picked up at Junk Bonanza one year. I just love that as well. Again, more of the styrofoam skulls. So there's the skull before you cut it. So that's how they came. But obviously, to put it on a garland, he's got just too big of a back of a head. So those are just kind of things that you can create and do. And just by carrying through some of those elements that you maybe use in a garland, easy, right? So you have little leftover pieces, and I think that just kind of creates that whole look and feel. But if everything is just plasticky stuff, well, that's great. And I love just having those little lights around it. Vintage stuff there. I love that little pillar, that little half pillar. Some old books. Very cool. Just fun. And then this is just an apothecary cabinet. So again, little Union Pharmacist. I love apothecary bottles. Really fun. There you go. Little spring mattress. Nothing wrong with using a little. I just thought it was cool. So it's just an old bed spring that I hung on the wall. And then these cool little metal drawers. This little desk. We picked up this desk at Junk Bonanza, and Mario decided to shrink wrap it in the hotel room. That was fun, right? That was good. So here, like that little bust, picked that up at Michael's this year, guys, for $7. Seriously, he reminds me of the Haunted Mansion. He's so cool. I love his expression. $7. Yep. An old calendar that I've had for years. I love that I can go and switch out the dates. And then I just picked up this year on Instagram. It is an entire box of vintage masks with the little label. The little label's tucked back there. But how cool is that? They're all paper masks.
The whole box of them.
The entire box. Yeah. I just love that. I think it's fun.
How many are in there? I mean, there's hundreds in there.
I don't know. Yeah, you can pick that box up. It's just a box.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, there's a bazillion. Yep, just the guy was selling it. Had it in his Etsy shop. So he put it on Instagram. He's going to drop some Halloween. So it's really, it was just really cool. Just, I know, right, Stacy? Those masks were, oh my word. It was just fun. And there's so much stuff. I mean, I've talked about, like, there's so much stuff that I got this year because it's okay. It's okay to evolve and move things around. And sometimes the challenge is to put it away, right? I mean, these little, yeah, there's stuff all the way around. Every single room has these wonderful shelves all the way around. But there's nothing wrong with just changing things like this. This was a light fixture. For those of you that love Pottery Barn, this was an old Pottery Barn light from years ago. Remember when the whole mason jar light thing was all the rage, where everyone wanted chandeliers of mason jars? Maybe you still have one because they were very cool. And that's what this was. You can see there, the jar lids. But I had all these old cages, these trouble light cages. And I'll be honest, that light fixture was hot as blazes, right? We would cook under those lights. So I found these filament bulbs, again, from Amazon. They're LED, so they look like old light bulbs, but they're really plastic with filament in there. And then we just put those cages on and just kept the top of the jar. So still repurposing stuff that you had instead of buying something new, but yeah. Pretty cool. I love that. And yeah, they're dimmable. So you can see, like, they can get super bright, but I also like that you can just dim them down, and because they're LED, like, no heat. And yeah, I just bought a bunch of different shapes and sizes and coils, and just a fun thing. So if you're ever looking for just ways to, if you have maybe an exposed lamp or something to see, then you can do that. So a lot of fun, right? So much fun. Right, Mario? He's hanging out there. There's Mario's space. And then the studio's right there, just right off the dining room. So, everyone thinks that we work in some, I don't know, monstrosity building with a staff of people. There you go. Staff. Yeah. So that's the studio. I'm not going to do a studio tour, but yes. And the studio is always clean like this. It is. But yeah, that's a space. So that's where everything happens. There is no shipping dock and all of that.
We don't have people.
No, yeah. And there was a chicken that just flashed by. Yeah, we have a chicken in there. So
Connor just asked, who cleans?
We do. Yeah, we do. It's fun because really, like when you think about it, having stuff around, especially
I do. I'm the butler.
yeah, no. The whole thing about that you have to remember is like when you set up stuff. So I like to decorate in. They're all laughing about shipping dock. It's true. I like to decorate in the first week of September for Halloween, and then I like to do the first week of November for Christmas. So we get 2 months out of it. And now, do we dust in between the 2 months? Well, yeah, surfaces you can see, you can dust. That's kind of my rule, right? If you see it,
It's just dust.
if you see
Who
it,
cares?
dust it. Like that's easy. But on something like this, like would I take this down in between the season to
No.
dust? Denied. Absolutely not. But when we take it down for Christmas, we get to dust everything and clean everything and wrap everything and then just redecorate. I mean, I sprinkle snow and all that stuff at Christmas time. Like, who cares? Like that's that's the best part. You know, I think that the thing to remember about this, guys, is yeah, it is. It's definitely real candy. You know, I think it's just important to remember. Whoop, hello, hand. There we go. Yeah, you have just one life. You have just one life, and you need to just live every single moment to the fullest. When are you going to do it again? Right? So if you're like, oh, I don't want to decorate with that, I don't want to put all that stuff out. Well, why not? If you have the space and you have it to enjoy, you need to enjoy it. Like that's really what it's all about. And if you don't have the space, look, I never thought I had the space, right? I didn't start with this stuff everywhere, but each time when I found something that I loved, I decided, you know what? I'm going to make room for it this time. I'm going to figure out, you know, how I can stack more things on the mantle
24-hour
or
rule.
yeah, or any of those elements here. And I do have a rule. He's right. When I go junk shopping and I buy something, because fellow junkers unite, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If I bring something home, if I don't have a place for it in 24 hours, and that place cannot be a box or a closet or a shelf, if I don't have a place for it, then it doesn't stay. I didn't need it. Sometimes that means I need to come home and shuffle things around to do that. But I think it's a good challenge, and that also keeps you from being, you know, like a hoarder, right? And there's nothing wrong with that in a sense, because as makers, we're kind of like that too. But it just reminds you of the importance of using it and enjoying it and not just collecting it. And I say the same thing for craft supplies, right? That we need to not only get the stuff, but also use it and enjoy it. So does the bedroom, bathroom, every room in the house has stuff, curated stuff. I mean, I like to be surrounded by things that make me happy, right? And I'll talk about like even the studio space. Stacy, I don't follow that rule. It's a good rule to follow today. I'm telling you, just for the sake of how fun it is, it really is a lot of fun to give yourself that challenge, because it makes you go in and look and appreciate your stuff. It really, really does. It makes you look at all the stuff around you and say, okay, let's move. And because I love to decorate. I love to just move things around all the time. It's so much fun. So that's a thing to remember. And I like to, I mean, I said it during the live on Instagram as well. I like to buy stuff all year. I just do. Whether it's for the home, right? Whether it's decor stuff or even as a maker, that it is important that if there's something that you think you like, you should get it. Because if you wait until next year, like if I would have waited to get, you know, like I'll say that wreath, then it's not there. And then it just drives you crazy because that's really all you want. And it just becomes like, I don't know, kind of a little bit of an obsession. So even as a maker, if there's stuff that you like, get it. If it's Halloween stuff that you're like, well, but tomorrow's Halloween, I don't have time to make it. Right. But if you're going to want it next year, then you probably are going to want to get it this year, because next year when it's retired and someone's charging a crazy amount of money, you end up paying more, which is kind of what you should always try to avoid. So it's really good. And I did see Simon Says in the house. Yeah, I'll do a shout out to Simon because, well, I love Simon Says. Yeah, $15 off, $75 purchase, their whole trick or treat thing. No, because I got the camera on me. There you go. But yeah, I think, you know, that's the thing. I'm stocking up on Simon's like, oh, hey, I like that. I love to shop year round for all sorts of things that make me truly happy. Truly, truly happy. Speaking of happy, look at that cool little piece It was Mario too. Happy, but yeah, that's a piece. There we go. That Paula made. See that? It's a little vignette. I loved it. She did it. I think it was a Halloween 1P. Let me turn that around so you guys don't have to like look at my. There you go. Whoo! Spin around. Take a look at that. Yeah, that's the bathroom right off the studio. A little shattered glass shower. But yeah, so that piece. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I think it was a Halloween vignette, right, Paula, that you made? Because there's little guys with a little masquerade. But that is year round. I loved it. And so I wanted a way to display her vignette. That's an ideology vignette box that she made. And I put it on a clipboard. Why not? Right? That whole clipboard. So that's another way to even upcycle your makes, right? That you have that you can say, okay, right? I'm going to use that, but I want to display it in a different way. Maybe you have a bigger space in that. So a clipboard is awesome. That's why my friend Kim scored me some new clipboards too. Some vintage ones at Vegas. Yeah, there you go. See, old barbershop stuff. There's stuff everywhere, guys. There really is. All right. So there you go. That was a fun tour. Let's take it out. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and, oh my gosh, my hand. I have to learn when you're doing a YouTube live, don't put your hand over the camera.
You need to get just a new handle thing. I think the one you have is.
I need to get like a monopod. Oh, I'll show you this other one. Check out this Cracker Jack sign. Look at that popcorn. So good. I scored that one for 4th of July. Yeah, that was their 4th of July sign.
I had to have that.
Yeah, but truth is, I was going for a different sign on their site, and I missed it. Sad. And so I was saying to her, I'm like, oh man, I missed it. I don't get it. And then there's the popcorn, which is what I say my brain is like, which is popcorn.
That
so
is
it's
the best.
meant to be. Yeah. So anyway, that was it. Good fun. Really appreciate you guys taking time out of your Saturday to enjoy this little Halloween decor tour. I do love decorating. It's fun to share. We've never really done like a live like this, so I hope you guys liked it. Hope it wasn't too annoying. I promise that I need to really work on getting something to hold my camera.
If you do it for Christmas.
I think I will. Yeah, I think that's fun. I think it would be really good to do that for Christmas. It's completely changed. So this stuff will all come down on Monday. Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday.
And it takes one day to take it all down. That's always the case, right? It takes one day to take it down and pack it up. I have tubs in the shed, really simple to stack. And then, yeah, we'll start decorating for Christmas. And Christmas will be done by the first week in November because, well, that's just how I roll. That's how I like to do it. And we enjoy decorating. It's good fun.
Yeah,
it really is.
You need a gimbal for your phone. But a gimbal is what we have that doesn't work.
Yeah, I just need a new one. I'll be honest. The one I bought it's years old. So I think there's probably a much easier, newer one that, yeah, I can get. So anyway, thank you guys. Thanks for putting up with the shakety shake and the hands over the lens and just keeping it real. But you know, I appreciate you coming into our home and checking it out. It's a lot of fun. So have a great rest of your day. I've got photos that I've taken around the house and I'll post them on the blog later today. I haven't done the blog post yet, but I'll have it posted today. And I'll also link up the great people, you know, Chicken Lips and Cracker Jack, just all of the kind of the cool people that we have on there. So really, really good fun. Awesome. So yeah, that's it. So with that, enjoy the rest. I got a lot of candy to eat. I hope you guys have a great Halloween. Can't wait to share more on social media. I'll be posting photos also in Instagram of all the stuff as well as what's in my blog. So, all right, you guys. So,
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. See you guys. Bye.